Everybody, welcome to 5 Day Thrive. Today is day 5. You made it. Yes. All right. So what does that mean? So 5 Day Thrive is a series we do each month. We cover different lessons we teach in our community success circles. And it's really about, winning the game of life, work, and play. How about that? So, so we covered so far this past week. So this is just about 15 to 20-minute lessons each day. So day 1 was the power of why, owning your why, maximizing your energy. Day 2 was the power of focus. Day 3 is about breakthrough systems or automating your life and business for success. Day 4 is about living courageously, taking courageous actions and making bold requests. And today is about completion. It's about celebration. So these are all lessons we teach in our peer coaching community, Success Circles. Success Circles we started 14 years ago. And the idea is that every sport has a huddle. And as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a coach, if you are any of those three, then you deserve a huddle too as well. And on our huddles, members really practice their focus. So they actually share their why. They share their challenges. They give each other feedback. Knowing that when you ask yourself quality questions each day, you will live and have a quality life. So it's based on asking quality questions, just as if you would work with any coach. So we covered a lot over the past few days, so certainly check out the previous videos, or if you're catching this late, sign up at 5daythrive.com to hear about the next series next month. So today is about completion, it's about celebration. And so I want to invite you, so looking at this past week, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned this past week? What's been your biggest challenge this past week? Is there an opportunity now you see around that challenge you faced? What has been the biggest accomplishment, your biggest win this past week? Your biggest magic moment, what stands out as a really magical moment where you can embrace a sense of wonder? So when you ask yourself these questions, when you review, reflect, something happens. You start shifting your focus, and it gives you a sense of, okay, wow, well, maybe I did have a full week. And when we don't do these things, when we don't review our weeks this way, what happens is that we go forward to carry these open loops, and these open loops in our mind can create a lot of stress. So this is something we do in Success Circles, particularly on our Friday morning buddy call. And I'm, of course, encouraging you to answer these questions now. And so this is all about completion. It's about celebration. So looking at all the lessons that you've had this past week, where you need to move focus for this next week. And they say, so most productivity experts say that this process here around completion, reviewing your week, reviewing your month, perhaps reviewing your year, whenever you're watching this video, can give you back 1,000% in terms of your time, energy, clarity, 1,000%. So wouldn't you like to have 1,000% back in terms of your effectiveness going forward? So play with me, play with this process, because it will reward you tremendously if you are willing to do this. Pull out a journal. It can be like a paper journal, and just kind of go through your week. It could be scribble if you want to, or you can do something more professional and write into like a document or an Evernote or OneNote, one of these apps out there if you want to use technology. But for you, this is all about completion. It's about celebration. It's recognizing your accomplishments going forward. And as you now map out next week, I want to invite you now to start clarifying. So what are your outcomes this next week? What are your 5 or 6 key things you're working toward? Different areas of life. So wheel of life, think about a bicycle wheel. You've got one area around relationships, another area around business, career, another area around your finances, another area around your health, another area around leisure time, fun time. And and there may be other areas in your life too that are very important to you. Spirituality is another area too. So looking at the different areas of life, review what key goals, outcomes do you have that'll really drive your success, maybe the success of your team forward or your success of your family forward next week. And just strategize, write it down. And then for 5 of those key things you're writing down, basically I'm asking you to just choose 5, right? It's basically 5 across, 1 across different area of life. It's basically 5 outcomes. That's it total. All right, maybe 6, not more than that. I want to invite you, what's the why behind that? What's the purpose behind that? So on Monday's call, we talked about the big why. So day one is a big why. And the why is basically a juice that drives you forward to be successful, kind of pulls you forward, pulls at your heartstrings each day when you think, clarify that what the why is. So the why of the series, for example, for me, it's about, inspiring leaders, creating impact. It's also, for me, it's an opportunity for me to be congruent with the lessons that we teach. These are lessons we've been teaching with Success Circles for over a decade now. So it's offering our members value toward embracing a little hustle this week so they can move the needle much more forward. So that's my why around this. So for everything we do, there's a why, right? So for every one of those outcomes that you're aiming to accomplish, what's the why behind it? What's the why behind that accomplishment for next week, that goal, that outcome that you have? Now write it all out. And I promise you, if you write it out in freehand, something kinesthetically happens where you connect now with what was written. And as you go into your week, because you use freehand to write it out, there's going to be a little more oomph, a little more energy into each of those things because you now have muscle memory as far as writing it out. You can also use a computer, Evernote, OneNote, anything you choose, but I'm just giving you some feedback based on things we've experimented with over the years in our community success circles. And this is all about completion, about celebration for you. So Saturday morning, for whenever you're watching this, I want to invite you to come join us as a guest. So we have a call on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern and 10:30 Eastern. And it's a bragging call. So it's an opportunity to brag about your week. You get 5-6 minutes to be in the hot seat to brag and celebrate your week. We all deserve that. And we find that as members share, or members of our community or guests share their wins, their accomplishments, it encourages them to now build a habit around that. So for example, like let's say you want to brag about something that's happened in your life. Maybe you worked out 3 days this past week. So you come forward on Saturday call, you celebrate like, oh, wow, I worked out 3 days this week, went to the gym, or I biked, whatever whatever that is for you. And as you say that, and as people applaud you in that success, what happens is you internally anchor that in, you celebrate that internally, and next week you'll feel more inclined to do that and maybe even more of that. And that's the experience for most of our members. So, it could be a win in health, it could be a win in your relationships, it could be a win in your business, your career. The little things and also the big things, the big and little things count too as well. So celebrate all of that. Celebrate that in your journal. Celebrate all of that with us on our Saturday bragging call, 9 o'clock, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. And to find out more information about this, you can go to bragwith.us, bragwith.us for the specifics. Or if you want to, you can go to momentum.buzz. They'll forward you to a location where you'll get the phone number and a coupon code to join our call as a guest. Pretty simple, but celebrate your wins, your accomplishments, and it'll inspire you to go and create more momentum in your life. This is all about momentum. This is all about moving the needle forward. Success Circles was built with that premise. What if you can move the needle forward 2 millimeters each day or 1% each day? What'll happen is you'll notice over the course of weeks, months, that 1% each day adds up to 10 times, 100 times that a year, right? So compound interest. Put a few dollars away each day or each week into an account that's gaining interest. And over the course of a year, it's a good amount of money. Over the course of 10 years, you're now moving to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Over the course of 20 years, by just keeping an account without even adding more beyond, let's say, 2 years, it may equate to $1 million, right? So it's compound interest on every area of life that you're willing to invest in. That's what Success Circle is all about. It's moving the needle forward, making 1% progress each day across the entire wheel of life. And it takes something. It takes being engaged. It takes being reminded. It takes sharing your big why, what that juice is for yourself. So once again, these are all lessons this past week. Check out 5-Day Thrive for the next cycle of this. And I want to invite you. So if you're watching this, join Success Circles. So if you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, let's say you've got other entrepreneur side hustles, then consider having a peer buddy, momentum buddy, as we call it, who's a step or two ahead of you. Our process is very unique. We spend about 5-6 hours every 2 weeks to pair members together. We look at your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your challenges, the work you've done already will find someone who's a step or two ahead of you. And it's quite simple. It's quite awesome. We now push out the questions each day for you to ask each other. We help you measure your progress. We help you celebrate each step of the way. And it's fun. It's so much fun. Having a daily huddle is so much fun. That's like the best thing I do each day, each morning, 20, 30 minutes. It gives most of our members the ability to bend time. If you go to momentumbuddy.com, there's a testimonial there from our member Elaine. She'll talk about that, and you'll see more about it on our site. But it gives most members the ability to bend time. It's a 30-minute investment could very well give you about 2 or 3 hours more each day. Pretty awesome. So momentumbuddy.com to learn that more. And I hope you've had a lot of success this past week. Make your weekend even more extraordinary. And that's it. Come join us for one of our bragging calls Saturday morning. Thanks for playing with me. Life is a game. We dare you to play a bigger game. Over and out.